Hi, folks. This is Shirish. We talked about the obesity and the metabolic rate and the response of the body in the last video. I just wanted to elaborate a little bit more on it so that you can understand and use it practically. The metabolic rate of a body is dependent upon your body's function, but it is also dependent upon the content of the fat and content of the muscles. As I mentioned in my last session, the muscles burn much more faster calories than the fats. So two persons where one person may have 10% body fat, the other person may have 30% body fat, even though they may have same total body mass or body weight, and they consume same number of calories, their metabolic rate would be different, and the one with higher muscle mass will burn more calories. But this is correct in most of the sessions. However, the body has uncanny capacity to adjust to our intake. So body is not just like a passive entity where the difference between your intake of your calories and output of your calorie will determine your weight gain or weight loss. So to understand this, let's say normally you are consuming 2000 calories and you want to lose weight, and you put yourself on say 1500 calories. Your conclusion would be that you would lose calories, so you would lose the weight. However, the body adjusted metabolic rate to compensate for reduced intake, period. The body also adjusts the metabolic rate to avoid weight gain when you increase the calorie intake. Now, this is true in short term. Exactly how many months or days or weeks this will be valid fact, I'm not sure, but it certainly is true. So if I would increase my calorie intake, say by 20%, my body will increase my metabolic rate so that it will avoid the weight gain. If I go on a starvation diet, my body will reduce the metabolic rate so that I don't lose weight as much as would be anticipated by a reduction in the calorie intake, period. This has a little bit of practical importance, as many times when people go on diet, in the beginning they tend to lose weight, then they suddenly stop losing weight, they lose the interest and stop the diet. Please note that the response of fat people to this either calorie intake increase or decrease in calorie is different than that of average lean people. So the fat people tend to increase their metabolic rate minimally when they are increasing the calorie intake and reduce their calorie expenditure or metabolic rate significantly when the calorie reduction in the diet intake is done. So I'm not sure exactly the numbers are accurate when I mention it, but let's say your basal metabolic rate is 40, and fat people, if they start eating high calorie food, say by 20%, their metabolic rate will go from 40 to 45. But the lean people's intake, if it is same, their metabolic rate will go from 40 to 50. So the lean people tend to gain less weight. With the reduction in calories, exactly opposite happens. So the fat people would drop their calorie when they are put on a starvation diet or reduced calorie diet. They will drop from 40 calories to say 35, 30. So they would drop substantially lower. So let's say they will drop from 40 to 25. So they are conserving calorie when they are on starvation diet. The lean person will go from 40 to say 35. So lean people tend to not gain weight as much as fat person when calorie intake is increased, and they tend to reduce their metabolic rate minimally so that they don't lose weight faster. Correction, they would lose weight faster. So the lean people response is much different than the fat people, and that's why when we say that somebody can smell food and gain weight versus others can eat whatever they want and still don't gain weight, has some truth in it. The person, when he eats something, the stomach gets distended. The filling of a stomach will cause sensation to the brain that the stomach is full. Now, whether the stomach is full with water, food, or it is with just things like celery, cauliflower, cabbage, carrots, or it is full with extremely high calorie food like candies or ice cream or cake or steak, it doesn't matter. So this sensation or the satiety, satisfaction center in the brain takes about 20 to 30 minutes after we have stopped eating. So please remember that if you eat fast, the satiety center is not stimulated and you would tend to eat more. But on the other hand, if you would eat slower and allow the satiety center to be stimulated, you will feel full while you are eating or when you are done and not feel hungry. So you can make a use of this by you taking water or things that are low in calorie, high in water content, like any vegetables that I mentioned, which includes cabbage, cauliflower, carrots, Brussels sprouts, etc., to fill the stomach so that you have early satiety. This explains why after a huge Thanksgiving meals, it takes about 30-40 minutes when you feel that your stomach is so distended that you can't eat anymore. Again, the body has another ability to suppress the satiety center and go for that cheesecake that is offered to you 30-40 minutes after the dinner is done. So you got to be careful. Body adjusts itself. Some more facts and some more advice in my next video. I hope you like the advice. Please send some comments. And if you like it, subscribe it. Thank you. Have a nice day.